Kira Morgan handed a cup of coffee to a homeless old man outside her cafe. 3 days later, she's standing inside a billionaire's mansion, and the family staring at her looks ready to destroy her life. But let's rewind. Because what happened between that sidewalk and that chandelier? Nobody saw it coming. It's 6:47 a.m. on a Tuesday. Kira's pushing through the cafe door, shoulders tight, eyes burning from another sleepless night. Her daughter Mila, 6 years old, needs a winter coat. Not once. Needs. The kind that keeps a kid warm when the heating bill gets paid late. Again. Kira's paycheck from the cafe barely covers rent. The coat she's been eyeing at the thrift store? $42. Might as well be $400. She ties her apron, forces a smile she doesn't feel, and glances out the window. That's when she sees him. An old man, maybe 70, sitting on the bench outside. His jacket's too thin. His hands are shaking. Not from age, from cold. Kira knows that shake. She's felt it. She grabs a coffee. Black. Hot. Adds a blueberry muffin from the day-old basket. Her boss, Trevor, is in the back. She moves fast, slips outside, presses the cup into the old man's hands. Here, she says. It's freezing out. His eyes lift. Pale blue. Clear. He doesn't speak, just nods. But the way he looks at her, like she handed him more than coffee, it sticks. She turns to go back inside. Trevor's standing in the doorway. Arms crossed. Face twisted. What the hell was that? Kira's stomach drops. Just nothing. You just gave away product. My product. Customers are watching now. A woman with a laptop. 2 guys in suits. All eyes on Kira. It was day old, Kira says quietly. I was going to throw it out anyway. That's not your call. Trevor steps closer, voice louder. You think charity work pays your rent? Because it doesn't pay mine. Her cheeks burn. She wants to snap back. Wants to tell him he throws out 3 trays of pastries every night. But she needs this job. Mila needs this job. I'm sorry, she whispers. Yeah, you are. Trevor pulls out his phone, taps the screen. Docking you $15. Maybe next time you'll think twice before playing Mother Teresa. Laughter ripples through the cafe. Quiet. Cruel. Kira swallows the lump in her throat, ties her apron tighter, and gets back to work. She doesn't cry. Not here. Not in front of them. Outside, the old man's still sitting there. And parked across the street, a sleek black car, windows tinted, engine purring. Someone's watching. Kira doesn't notice. But 3 days from now, she'll walk into a mansion with marble floors and a chandelier worth more than her entire apartment building. She'll see that old man again. And everything she thought she knew about kindness, about power, about who decides what a person deserves, it's about to shatter. If you believe kindness shouldn't be punished, subscribe now. Only cold hearts scroll past. The dining room smells like expensive wine and old money. Kira stands near the doorway, feeling every thread of her discount store dress. The table stretches forever. Crystal glasses. Polished silverware. Faces that look at her like she's dirt on their shoes. The old man from the bench? His name is Arthur Langford. Billionaire. Founder of Langford Industries. And he's sitting at the head of the table, calm as anything, while his family looks ready to combust. This is absurd, hisses a woman in pearls. Arthur's daughter, Clarissa. Her lips are tight, her eyes sharp. You brought a cafe worker to dinner? What's next, father? Inviting the gardener. Arthur doesn't flinch. Kira saved my life. Clarissa laughs. It's not a kind sound. She handed you coffee. Let's not be dramatic. She handed me coffee when I was cold and forgotten, when everyone else walked past. Arthur's voice is steel wrapped in velvet. She has more dignity in her fingernail than this entire table combined. Silence drops like a guillotine. Kira wants to disappear, wants to rewind to that sidewalk, keep the coffee, avoid this nightmare. But Arthur had insisted, sent a car, said it was important. She thought maybe he wanted to thank her, slip her some cash, help with Mila's coat. She didn't expect this. A man in a tailored suit, Arthur's son, Preston, leans forward. Father, with all due respect, this woman is a stranger. You don't owe her anything. I owe her everything, Arthur says quietly. Preston's jaw tightens. You're being manipulated. She probably Googled you the second you left. Saw an opportunity. Kira's breath catches. I didn't. Of course you did. Clarissa's smile is venom. Single mom, right? Struggling? Saw a rich old man and thought, jackpot. That's enough. Arthur's hand slams the table. Not loud, but final. The air thickens. Forks freeze midair. Someone clears their throat. Kira feels tears pressing behind her eyes. She shouldn't be here. This was a mistake. But Arthur turns to her, and his expression softens. Kira, I asked you here because I want to repay your kindness. These people, he gestures at the table, have forgotten what that word means. Clarissa stands abruptly, chair scraping. If she stays, I'm leaving. Arthur doesn't blink. Then leave. The room holds its breath. Would you stay or walk away if a billionaire defended you like this? Drop your answer below. I need to know. 3 days earlier. Rain hammers the sidewalk like it's got a grudge. Kira's walking to work, hood pulled tight, shoes already soaked through. Mila's at her neighbor's place, Mrs. Chun, the only person in the building who doesn't charge by the hour for babysitting. Kira's got $17 in her wallet. Needs to last until Friday. The cafe's just ahead. Lights glowing warm through the rain. She picks up her pace, dodges a puddle, nearly slips. Her phone buzzes. Rent reminder. Due in 4 days. She shoves it back in her pocket. Inside, the cafe smells like roasted beans and butter. Kira peels off her jacket, ties her apron. Trevor's already barking orders at someone in the back. She clocks in. 6:30 a.m., 10-hour shift ahead. Through the window, she spots him again. The old man. Same bench as yesterday. Same thin jacket. Rain soaking through. Nobody stops. A jogger runs past. A woman with an umbrella sidesteps him like he's invisible. A guy in a business suit actually steps over his outstretched legs. Kira watches. Her chest tightens. She knows what it's like to be invisible. To ask for help and hear nothing but silence. She grabs a cup. Pours coffee. Adds cream without thinking. Everyone likes cream when it's cold. Wraps a muffin in a napkin. Blueberry. Mila's favorite. Trevor's still in the back. She moves fast. Outside, the rain's coming down harder. She crouches in front of the old man, holds out the cup. Here. You look freezing. He looks up. Blue eyes. Sharp. Not cloudy like she expected. He studies her face like he's memorizing it. Thank you, he says. Voice rough, but steady. It's just coffee, Kira says. Just one good deed. She doesn't know his name. Doesn't know he owns half the buildings in this city. Doesn't know that in 72 hours, she'll be standing in his mansion, surrounded by people who hate her. All she knows is he's cold. And she has coffee. She turns back toward the cafe. Trevor's in the window now. Arms crossed. Face red. Her stomach flips. This is going to cost her. She already knows. But when she glances back, the old man's holding that cup like it's gold. And for a second, just a second, Kira feels like maybe she did something right. Even if nobody else sees it. Brookfield City doesn't slow down for anyone. Buses run late. Rent climbs higher. People walk fast, heads down, earbuds in. If you're struggling, that's your problem. Pull yourself up. Work harder. Stop complaining. Kira's lived here her whole life. Watched it change. Watched the corner store turn into a luxury gym. Watched her old elementary school get torn down for condos she'll never afford. She's 26. Single mom. Works at Hollow Bean Cafe on 5th and Elm. $8 an hour plus tips. Tips are a joke. Most people don't even look at her when they order. Large latte, oat milk, extra shot. Sure. Name. Does it matter? She writes it anyway. Keeps her head down. Smiles when she's supposed to. Motherhood keeps her breathing. Mila's her anchor. Her reason. When Kira comes home after a 10-hour shift, feet aching, back screaming, and Mila runs to the door yelling mommy. That's when everything else fades. But Mila's getting older. Asking questions. Why don't we have a car like Zoe's mom? Why can't I get the fancy lunchbox? Why do you always look so tired? Kira doesn't have good answers. Just honest ones. We're doing our best, baby. That's all we can do. People in Brookfield don't see her. Not really. She's the woman who hands them coffee. Background noise. Replaceable. Except one person did see her. An old man on a bench. Shivering in the rain. And that one moment of eye contact, that one exchange of warmth in a cold city. It's about to flip her entire world upside down. Because kindness? In Brookfield? That's rare. And rare things get noticed. Especially by people with power. The rain doesn't let up. It's one of those October storms that feels personal. Cold. Mean. Kira hands the coffee to the old man. He takes it with both hands, like it's something sacred. She smiles, small, quick, and turns back toward the cafe. Trevor's waiting at the door. What the hell do you think you're doing? Kira freezes. You just gave away my product. Again. It was day old. I was going to toss it. That's not your call. Trevor's voice cuts through the rain. People inside the cafe are staring now. Phones out. Recording probably. Kira's throat tightens. I'm sorry. It won't happen again. Damn right it won't. Trevor pulls out his phone, swipes aggressively. $15. Docked. And if I catch you playing Saint one more time, you're gone. She nods. Swallows the humiliation. Walks past him into the cafe. Laughter follows her. Quiet. Cutting. A guy at the counter smirks. Guess charity doesn't pay the bills, huh? Kira doesn't respond. She ties her apron tighter, washes her hands, gets back to work. But her 6-year-old daughter, Lila, is sitting at the corner table. Mrs. Chun brought her by early. And Lila heard everything. Mommy's not a failure, Lila says, loud enough for everyone to hear. The cafe goes quiet. Kira's heart cracks. Baby, it's okay. No. Lila's little fists are clenched. You help someone. That's good. That man's mean. Trevor rolls his eyes. Kid's got a mouth on her. Kira scoops Lila up, whispers, "We'll talk later, okay? Let's get you back to Mrs. Chen's." But Lila's words hang in the air. And the old man outside? He heard it too. He stands slowly. Rain still pouring. Looks through the window at Trevor. Then at Kira. He nods once. Then walks away. Nobody notices the sleek black car idling across the street. Nobody sees the driver step out, hold an umbrella over the old man, help him into the back seat. Nobody knows that Arthur Langford just watched a single mother get humiliated for showing him compassion. Nobody knows he's already making calls, already setting things in motion. Because Arthur's been testing this city for weeks. Walking its streets. Sitting on benches. Watching. Waiting. To see if anyone still remembered how to be human. Kira just passed the test. Hit subscribe if you'd stand up to people who belittle others. Arrogant always think they're untouchable. Next morning. Kira's running late. Mila spilled juice on her uniform. Had to change. Ran 6 blocks because the bus drove past her stop without slowing down. She burst through the cafe door, breathless. Trevor glares, but doesn't say anything. Kira clocks in, shoves her bag in her locker. That's when she sees it. A folded piece of paper. Cream-colored. Expensive looking. She glances around. Nobody's watching. She unfolds it. Elegant handwriting. Black ink. Kindness always finds its way home. A.D. Kira reads it twice. 3 times. What's that? Asks Becca, another server, leaning over her shoulder. Nothing. Just trash probably. Becca squints. Looks fancy for trash. Kira shoves it in her pocket. It's nothing. But it's not nothing. She feels it all day. That note pressed against her hip. Those words looping in her head. Kindness always finds its way home. Who's A.D.? Who left this? At lunch, she pulls it out again. Studies the handwriting. It's steady. Confident. The kind of writing that comes from someone who's signed 1,000 important documents. She thinks about the old man. His blue eyes. The way he looked at her. But that doesn't make sense. He was homeless. Wasn't he? By closing time, Kira's convinced she's being watched. She catches herself glancing over her shoulder. Checking the windows. Nothing. Nobody. Just her paranoia. She folds the note, tucks it back in her pocket, and heads home. Mila's waiting. Dinner needs to be made. Bills need attention. But that night, lying in bed, Kira pulls the note out one more time. A.D. Somewhere in this city, someone's paying attention. And for the first time in years, Kira doesn't know if that's a good thing or a terrible one. 2 days after the note, Kira's wiping down tables when the cafe door chimes. A man walks in. Suit. Crisp. Briefcase in hand. He doesn't look at the menu. Doesn't look at Trevor. Walks straight to Kira. Kira Morgan? Her stomach drops. Yeah. He hands her a thick cream envelope. Same paper as the note. This is for you. What is it? An invitation. Private catering request. Kira stares at the envelope like it might explode. I don't cater. I work here. The client specifically requested you. The man adjusts his tie. Details inside. Car will pick you up tomorrow at 6 p.m. Formal attire preferred. He's gone before she can ask anything else. Trevor's watching from behind the counter. What was that about? I don't know. He snatches the envelope from her hands, tears it open. His eyes scan the letter. Then he laughs. Loud. Mean. Oh, this is good. Private catering request, double residence. You? They want you. Kira grabs the letter back. Reads it herself. Dear Miss Morgan, your presence is requested at the Double Estate for a private dinner engagement. Transportation will be provided. Compensation, $500 for the evening. Please confirm attendance by calling the number below. Sincerely, Double Estate Management. $500. Kira's hands shake. Trevor's still laughing. You know what this is, right? Some rich creep saw you on the street, thinks you're cute, wants to play dress up. You're not seriously considering it. It's $500. It's a scam. Or worse. He leans closer. Girls like you? You go to places like that, you don't come back the same. Becca, cleaning the espresso machine, chimes in. Maybe it's legit. Rich people do weird stuff all the time. Or maybe it's a trap, Trevor says. But hey, your funeral. Kira folds the letter carefully. Tucks it in her apron. Double residence. She's heard that name before. Can't place it. That night she Googles it. Her screen floods with results. Arthur Dovell. Billionaire. Founder of Dovell Industries. Net worth. $4.2 billion. Mansion in Hillside Heights. Most exclusive neighborhood in Brookfield. Photos of the estate pop up. Gates. Marble. Gardens that look like they belong in a movie. Kira's heart pounds. The old man on the bench. The one she gave coffee to. That was Arthur Dovell? No. Can't be. That man was shivering. Homeless. Forgotten. But the note. The handwriting. A.D. Arthur Dovell. She reads the invitation again. Tomorrow, 6 p.m. Mila's tuition for daycare is overdue. The landlord's threatening eviction. Her car needs an oil change she can't afford. $500 would change everything. But Trevor's words echo in her head. Girls like you don't come back the same. Kira stares at her phone, at the number on the letter. Her thumb hovers over the call button. Mila's sitting on the couch, coloring. She looks up when Kira walks in. Mommy, was that man really poor? Kira freezes. What man, baby? The one you gave coffee to, outside the cafe. Yeah, I think so. Mila tilts her head. But he didn't look poor. What do you mean? His eyes. They were too. She searches for the word. Smart. Poor people have sad eyes. His weren't sad. They were watching. Kira sits down next to her daughter. You noticed that? He looked at you like he was testing you. A chill runs down Kira's spine. Testing me for what? Mila shrugs. Goes back to coloring. I don't know. But it wasn't just coffee, Mommy. It was something else. Kira watches her daughter. 6 years old. Already seen things Kira missed. You're too smart for your own good, you know that? Mila grins. I get it from you. Kira hugs her tight. But Mila's words stay with her. He was testing you. What if the old man wasn't homeless? What if he was, what? Pretending? Why would someone do that? And now this invitation, this mansion, this money. Kira pulls out the letter again. Reads it for the 10th time. Your presence is requested. Not your catering skills. Not your service. Your presence. Like she's the guest. Not the help. What does Arthur Dovell want from her? Kira dials the number. Her hands shaking. 2 rings. Then a woman's voice. Cold. Clipped. Dovell Estate. Hi. I received an invitation for tomorrow night. This is Kira Morgan. Silence. Then, hold please. Classical music plays. Kira paces her tiny kitchen. A different voice comes on. Sharper. Older. Miss Morgan. This is Clarissa Dovell. My father specifically requested your attendance tomorrow evening. Kira's throat tightens. Your father. Arthur Dovell. I believe you've met. The old man. It really was him. Yes. I gave him coffee. I didn't know. Clearly. Clarissa's tone could freeze fire. 6 p.m. sharp. A car will collect you. Wear something appropriate. This is a formal dinner. I don't really have. Then borrow something. Buy something. I don't care. Just don't show up looking like. She stops herself. 6 p.m. Don't be late. Click. Kira stares at her phone. Clarissa Dovell. That name was in the articles too. Arthur's daughter. CEO of Dovell Enterprises. Known for being ruthless. Brilliant. Cold. And she just talked to Kira like she's dirt. Kira sits on the edge of her bed. Head in her hands. This is insane. She should cancel. Stay home. Forget the money. But then she thinks about Mila. About the eviction notice taped to her door. About the coat she still can't afford. $500. One night. She picks up her phone. Texts her neighbor. Can you watch Mila tomorrow night? Emergency. We'll pay you back. Mrs. Chen responds immediately. Of course, dear. No charge. Kira exhales. She's doing this. Comment, I trust my gut, if you've ever felt something too good to be true, because Kira's about to walk into something way bigger than she realizes. 6 p.m. A black car pulls up outside Kira's building. Not a taxi. Not an Uber. A town car. Gleaming. Driver in a suit. He opens the door for her. Doesn't smile. Doesn't speak. Kira slides in. Leather seats. Cold air conditioning. The door shuts like a vault. They drive. Brookfield falls away. The cramped streets. The graffiti. The broken sidewalks. Everything Kira knows. The car climbs. Up into hillside heights. Trees line the road now. Tall. Old. The kind that cost more to maintain than Kira makes in a year. Houses appear. No, not houses. Estates. Gates. Fountains. Driveways longer than her street. Kira's chest tightens. She shouldn't be here. Doesn't belong. The driver turns onto a private road. The trees thicken. Shadows stretch long. Then gates. Iron. Towering. They swing open silently. The mansion rises ahead like something out of a dream. Or a nightmare. White stone. Columns. Windows that glow gold. A fountain in the center of the circular driveway. Water catching the last light of the sun. Kira's breath catches. The car stops. The driver opens her door. Miss Morgan, they're expecting you. She steps out. Her shoes, borrowed from Becca, click on the marble driveway. The front door opens. A butler. Actual butler. This way, please. Kira follows. Her heart's hammering. Inside, the mansion's even bigger. Marble floors. Chandeliers. Paintings that look older than the country. Voices echo from somewhere deeper in the house. Laughter. Clinking glasses. The butler leads her down a hallway. Stops at tall double doors. They're dining. You'll be announced. Wait, announced? I thought I was catering. But he's already pushing the doors open. A dining room. Long table. Faces turned toward her. And at the head of a table, smiling like he's been waiting all week, Arthur Dovell, the old man from the bench. Kira's legs lock. She can't move. The old man from the bench, Arthur Dovell, sits at the head of a table like a king. But he's not shivering now. Not hunched. Not forgotten. He's wearing a tailored suit. Navy blue. Crisp white shirt. His silver hair's combed back. His posture straight. Commanding. He looks 10 years younger. 20 pounds heavier. Like the cold, broken man outside the cafe was a ghost. And this is the real version. Miss Morgan. His voice fills the room. Deep. Steady. Please. Sit. A chair's been pulled out for her. Right next to him. Kira doesn't move. I don't understand. I know. Arthur gestures to the chair again. Sit. Let me explain. She walks forward. Feels every eye in the room tracking her. 10 people at the table. Maybe more. All dressed like they're going to the opera. All staring at her discount dress like it's offensive. She sits. Her hands are shaking. Arthur leans closer. His voice drops. You shouldn't have helped me that day. Kira blinks. What? You should have walked past. Like everyone else. Kept your head down. Protected your job. I don't. But you didn't. Arthur's blue eyes lock on hers. You stopped. You gave me warmth when I had none. You saw me when the world decided I was invisible. Kira's throat tightens. You weren't really homeless. No. Then why? Because I needed to know. Arthur sits back. I needed to see if this city still had a heartbeat. If anyone still remembered what it means to be human. Clarissa, sitting across the table, sets her wine glass down hard. Father, this is absurd. You tested the entire city with your little experiment? For what? To parade this woman around like a prize. Arthur doesn't look at her. Keeps his eyes on Kira. I've been testing Brookfield for 3 months. Walking the streets. Sitting on benches. Asking for help. Do you know how many people stopped? Kira shakes her head. 2. In 3 months. 2 people offered help. One was a teenager who gave me a granola bar. The other was you. The room's silent now. Forks stopped midair. Glasses frozen. Arthur continues. You didn't just give me coffee, Miss Morgan. You gave me proof that compassion isn't dead. That someone in this godforsaken city still cares about more than stock portfolios and social media likes. Kira feels tears building. She blinks them back. It was just coffee. It was everything. A man at the far end of the table clears his throat. Arthur, with all respect, this is highly irregular. Bringing a stranger to a family dinner. She's not a stranger. Arthur's voice hardens. She's more family than half this table. Clarissa's jaw tightens. Her knuckles go white around her fork. Kira wants to run, wants to disappear. But Arthur's looking at her like she's the only person in the room. And somewhere deep down she realizes this isn't about coffee. This is about something much bigger. The first course arrives. Some kind of soup. Kira doesn't recognize it. She picks up her spoon. Watches which one the woman next to her uses. Copies. Whispers ripple around the table. Who is she? Cafe worker, I heard. Why is she sitting next to him? This is embarrassing. Arthur raises his glass. A toast. Everyone stops. Glasses lift. To Kira Morgan. A woman who proved that integrity isn't bought. It's chosen. Every single day. In moments no one's watching. Silence. Then, reluctant clinking. Half-hearted murmurs. Kira doesn't lift her glass. Can't. Her hands shaking too hard. A man in a gray suit leans forward. Miss Morgan, tell us, what's it like working in service? Must be humbling. The way he says humbling makes it sound like an insult. Kira swallows. It's honest work. Of course. Honest. He smiles. Doesn't reach his eyes. And your daughter, Lila, is it? Arthur mentioned her. Single mother. That must be difficult. Mila, Kira corrects. Her name's Mila. And yeah, it's hard. But we manage. Clarissa dabs her lips with a napkin. How inspiring. Truly. The struggling single mother narrative. Very on brand for our current social climate. Arthur's fork clatters against his plate. Clarissa. What? I'm complimenting her resilience. You're mocking her. I'm stating facts. Clarissa's smile is ice. She works at a cafe. She's broke. She gave you coffee, and now you're treating her like she cured cancer. It's performative, father. And frankly, it's beneath you. The table goes dead, quiet. Kira's face burns. She should leave. Stand up. Walk out. But Arthur stands first. Slow. Deliberate. Let me be clear. His voice is steel. Kira showed me more humanity in 30 seconds than this family has shown in 30 years. She didn't do it for recognition. Didn't do it for money. She did it because it was right. And if that's beneath me, if compassion is beneath any of you, then you can leave my table. Permanently. Nobody moves. Arthur sits back down. Looks at Kira. Ignore them. They've forgotten how to feel anything that doesn't come with a tax benefit. A few people shift uncomfortably. One woman, Arthur's sister, maybe, actually smiles at Kira. Small. Sad. The rest go back to their soup. Silent. Simmering. Kira picks up her spoon again. Forces herself to eat. But the tension in the room is suffocating. Every glance feels like a judgment. Every whisper, a blade. Arthur leans closer. You're doing fine. I don't belong here. You belong here more than anyone. Kira doesn't believe him. But she stays. Because walking out now would prove them all right. And she's not giving them that satisfaction. Subscribe if you defend what's right even when mocked. The selfish never will. Dinner drags on. Courses come and go. Kira barely tastes any of it. Then dessert arrives. Some kind of chocolate thing with gold flakes on top. Clarissa sets her fork down. Stands. Father, may I speak with you? Privately. Arthur doesn't look up. No. It's important. Then say it here. Clarissa's nostrils flare. Fine. You're humiliating us. This entire dinner is a spectacle. You brought a random woman into our home, elevated her above your own family. And for what? To prove a point? To punish us. Arthur takes a slow sip of wine. If you feel punished, that says more about you than it does about me. She's a nobody. Clarissa's voice cracks. A nobody who gave you coffee, and now you're treating her like she matters? Arthur's tone is calm. Too calm. Because she does. More than your own daughter? The room freezes. Arthur sets his glass down. You want to talk about what matters, Clarissa? Let's talk. When's the last time you visited your mother's grave? Clarissa's face drains of color. When's the last time you asked how I'm doing? Really asked. Not for business. Not for updates on the will. Just asked. That's not fair. You want fair. Arthur's voice rises now. You've spent the last 10 years positioning yourself to take over my company. Every dinner, every meeting, every conversation is about numbers, profit margins, expansion. You know what you've never asked me? If I'm lonely, if I miss your mother, if I still think about Elise. Clarissa flinches at the name. Kira's chest tightens. Who's Elise? Arthur continues. This family has forgotten what it means to care. About anything. About anyone. You measure worth in dollars and status. Kira measured it in warmth and decency. So yes, right now in this moment, she matters more than any of you. Clarissa's hands shake. Her eyes glisten. But she doesn't cry. She just stares at her father. Then at Kira. You're making a mistake, she whispers. Then she walks out. Heels clicking. Door slamming. 3 other people follow her. Murmuring apologies. Avoiding eye contact. The dining room feels emptier now. Colder. Arthur sighs. Looks at Kira. I'm sorry you had to see that. Kira shakes her head. Who's Elise? Arthur's expression crumbles. Just for a second. Then he rebuilds it. My youngest daughter. She died 6 years ago. Come. Let me show you. He stands. Offers his hand. Kira takes it. Arthur leads Kira down a hallway. Away from the dining room. Away from the whispers. He opens a door. A study. Walls lined with books. A desk. A fireplace crackling low. On the mantel, photos. A girl. Maybe 16. Dark hair. Bright smile. Elise, Arthur says softly. My youngest. Kira steps closer. Studies the photo. The girl's holding a trophy. Soccer, maybe. She was brilliant. Kind. Exactly like her mother. Arthur's voice cracks. 6 years ago, she collapsed during a game. Heart condition. Undiagnosed. She fell, and everyone thought she was faking. Being dramatic. Kira's breath catches. By the time someone called for help, it was too late. She died on that field. Surrounded by people. And not one of them stopped to check if she was okay. Tears stream down Arthur's face now. He doesn't wipe them. I've spent 6 years wondering, what if someone had cared? What if one person had stopped? Checked her pulse? Called 911 sooner. Kira's throat burns. I'm so sorry. That's why I tested the city. I needed to know if people like you still existed. If compassion was still possible. Because if it's not, if we've lost that, then Elise died for nothing. Kira reaches out. Touches his arm. She didn't. Arthur looks at her. You proved that. They stand in silence. The fire crackles. Then Arthur walks to his desk. Opens a drawer. Pulls out an envelope. This is for you. Kira doesn't take it. I didn't do this for money. I know. But your daughter needs a coat. Your rent's overdue. Your car's barely running. Take it. Kira's hands shake. She opens the envelope. A check. $50,000. Her knees buckle. I can't. You can. And you will. Because you deserve it. And because I want Mila to have the childhood Elise never got to finish. Kira's crying now. Full sobs. She tries to hand it back. This is too much. It's not enough. Arthur closes her fingers around the check. But it's a start. And if you want more than money, if you want purpose, I have a proposal. Kira wipes her eyes. What kind of proposal? Work for me. Not as staff. As a partner. I'm starting a foundation. In Elise's name. To help people like you. Single parents. Struggling families. People the world ignores. I need someone who understands that world. Someone with integrity. Kira stares at him. You barely know me. I know enough. She looks at the check. At the photo of Elise. At Arthur. This man just handed her a new life. And all she did was give him coffee. Subscribe if you believe kindness should outlive greed. Greedy hope you'll scroll past. Kira's staring at the check. $50,000. Her hands won't stop shaking. Arthur's talking about the foundation. About helping families. About changing lives. But Kira's head is spinning. This is too much. Too fast. I need air, she whispers. Arthur nods. Of course. The garden's through those doors. Take your time. Kira steps outside. Cold air hits her face. The garden's lit with soft lights. Roses. Fountains. Benches carved from stone. She sits. Breathes. Looks at the check again. This could change everything. Pay rent. Buy Mila that coat. Fix the car. Maybe even quit the cafe. But it feels wrong. Like charity. Like pity. Footsteps behind her. She turns. Clarissa. Arms crossed. Eyes like daggers. Enjoying yourself? Kira stands. I was just. Save it. Clarissa steps closer. I know exactly what you're doing. I'm not doing anything. You're playing him. The poor single mom routine. The tears. The humility act. You saw an old man, researched him, figured out he was rich, and orchestrated this entire thing. Kira's chest tightens. That's not true. Isn't it? You just happened to give coffee to one of the richest men in the city? You just happened to catch his attention at the exact moment he's vulnerable and grieving? Convenient. I didn't know who he was. Clarissa laughs. Cold. Sharp. Everyone knows who Arthur Dovell is. Stop lying. Kira's hands ball into fists. I'm not lying. I gave him coffee because he looked cold. That's it. I didn't want anything from him. Then give the check back. Kira freezes. Clarissa smirks. See? You can't. Because this was always about money. About worming your way into his life. Into his will. That's not. My father's dying. Clarissa's voice cracks. He won't admit it, but he is. Heart condition. Maybe 6 months left. And you show up right when he's most vulnerable. Right when he's desperate to believe in something good. You're a vulture. Kira's vision blurs. I didn't know. Of course you didn't. Because you don't care. You just see dollar signs. A door opens behind them. Arthur steps out. His face is stone. Clarissa. She spins around. Father, I heard everything. The color drains from Clarissa's face. Arthur walks slowly toward them. You think Kira manipulated me? You think I'm so weak, so foolish, that I can't tell the difference between genuine compassion and a con? I didn't mean. You meant every word. Arthur's voice is quiet, deadly. You've been looking for a reason to discredit her since you walked in. Because you can't stand that someone outside this family earned my respect. Something you've been chasing for years. Clarissa's lip trembles. That's not fair. Fair. Arthur's laugh is bitter. You want to talk about fair? Kira risked her job to help me. You risk nothing. Ever. You calculate. manipulate, play politics. And you have the audacity to accuse her of the very thing you've perfected. Clarissa's breathing hard now, eyes shining. I'm your daughter. Then act like it. The silence cuts deep. Arthur turns to Kira. Are you all right? She nods. Can't speak. He looks back at Clarissa. You're done. What? Done. With this family. With the company. With my estate. Clarissa's face goes white. You can't. I can. And I am. Arthur's voice doesn't waver. I've watched you tear down everyone who doesn't serve your agenda. I've excused it. Justified it. Told myself you'd grow out of it. But you haven't. And I'm tired. Father, please. You're removed from the board. Effective immediately. Your trust fund? Frozen. Your position in the company? Terminated. Clarissa stumbles back like she's been slapped. You're choosing her over me? I'm choosing integrity over cruelty. There's a difference. Tears stream down Clarissa's face now. Real ones. I've given my entire life to this family, to your legacy, and you're throwing me away for a stranger. Arthur's expression softens. Just a fraction. You didn't give your life, Clarissa. You gambled it. And you lost. He turns to the house. Raises his hand. 2 security guards appear. Escort Miss Duvall off the property. She's no longer welcome here. Clarissa's sobs echo through the garden. You'll regret this. You'll. But the guards are already guiding her away. Firm. Professional. She looks back once. At Kira. Pure hatred in her eyes. Then she's gone. Arthur exhales. Sits on the bench. Suddenly looks every bit of his 70 years. Kira sits next to him. You didn't have to do that. Yes, I did. He looks at her. Some people hate goodness because it mirrors everything they lack. Clarissa can't stand you because you remind her of who she could have been. Should have been. Kira's quiet for a long moment. Is it true? Are you dying? Arthur doesn't answer right away. Just stares at the fountain. Yes. Kira's heart sinks. Heart's failing. Doctors give me 6 months. Maybe less. He smiles sadly. But I'm not afraid. Elise is waiting. So is my wife. I'll see them soon. Tears slide down Kira's cheeks. I'm sorry. Don't be. I've had a long life. A full one. And you reminded me what it was all for. Comment, I stand with good. If you can't stand those who destroy others for doing right. They sit in silence for a while. The night air's cold, but neither moves. Finally, Arthur speaks. I meant what I said. About the foundation. About you working with me. Kira looks at the check in her hand. I don't know anything about running a foundation. Neither did I when I started my first company. You'll learn. But I'm nobody. Arthur raises an eyebrow. Good. That's exactly who I need. Someone who hasn't been corrupted by power. Someone who still remembers what it's like to struggle. Kira folds the check. Carefully. What would I even do? Help me identify people who need support. Visit families. Hear their stories. Make decisions about who gets funding. You'd be the heart of the operation. I'll handle the business side. You handle the human side. That's a lot of responsibility. You've been responsible for a child's entire life on minimum wage. This will be easier. Kira almost laughs. I don't think so. Arthur stands. Offers his hand. Come inside. Let me show you something. They walk back through the mansion. Past the dining room, now empty. Past the study. Down another hallway. Arthur opens a door. An office. But not his. The desk is smaller. A window overlooks the garden. Bookshelves line the walls. This was Elisa's room. I turned it into an office after she died. Couldn't bear to keep it the same. He walks to the desk. touches the wood gently. I want you to have it. If you take the job. Kira's throat tightens. Arthur, you don't have to decide tonight. Take the check. Go home. Think about it. But know this, he turns to face her. I'm not offering you charity. I'm offering you partnership, purpose, a chance to make sure what happened to Elise never happens to another child. Kira looks around the room, imagines herself here, working, planning, helping families like hers. It feels impossible, like a dream she's not allowed to have. But Arthur's looking at her like it's already decided. Like he sees something in her she doesn't see in herself. Why me, she whispers. Because you stopped. Arthur's eyes shine. When the whole world kept walking, you stopped. That's rarer than you think. And it's exactly what this foundation needs. Kira wipes her eyes. Nods slowly. Okay. I'll do it. Not for the money. For the purpose. For Elise. For every kid like her who just needs someone to stop and care. Arthur's smile breaks through. Then welcome aboard, Miss Morgan. He extends his hand. Kira shakes it. And just like that, her life shifts. From barely surviving to actually living. From invisible to seen. All because she gave a shivering man a cup of coffee. 5 months later. Kira's sitting in the office, Elise's office, when the call comes. Arthur passed peacefully in his sleep. No pain. Just went. She sets the phone down. Stares at the desk. 5 months. That's all they got. But in those 5 months, they launched the foundation. Helped 43 families. Set up scholarships. Funded medical bills. Gave people hope. Arthur worked until the very end. Even when he could barely stand, he showed up. Signed papers. Made calls. Fought for every family, like he was fighting for Elise. The funeral's small. Quiet. Arthur requested it that way. Kira stands in the cemetery. Mila's holding her hand. They're both dressed in black. The headstone reads, Arthur Dovell, beloved father, believer in humanity. Next to it, Elise's grave. Fresh flowers already there. Kira kneels. Places her own bouquet between them. Roses. Arthur's favorite. Thank you, she whispers. For seeing me. For believing in me. Mila tugs her sleeve. Mommy, is he with the angels now? Kira nods. Yeah, baby. He is. Will he be happy? I think so. He's with his daughter now. That's all he wanted. They stand there for a while. Wind rustling the trees. Birds singing somewhere distant. Kira thinks about that rainy morning. The coffee. The bench. The moment that changed everything. She thinks about how one small act of kindness created a ripple. A wave. A legacy. Arthur's lawyer called yesterday. Read the will. Arthur left the foundation entirely to Kira. Full control. Full funding. He also left a note. 3 words. Keep stopping, Kira. She will. For Arthur. For Elise. For every person the world tries to make invisible. Mila squeezes her hand. Can we go home now? Kira smiles. Yeah. Let's go home. They walk back through the cemetery. The sun's breaking through the clouds. And somewhere, Kira swears she feels it, Arthur's presence. Proud. Peaceful. Finally at rest. Kira stood in the vast marble foyer, not of the foundation, but of the Dovell estate itself. The lawyer, Mr. Harrison, a thin, nervous man who clearly hated delivering news that challenged the rich, cleared his throat. Miss Morgan, Arthur's final amendments were clear. The foundation, the trust, the assets, that all goes to you as the lifetime president. But the primary residence, this house, this estate, it is also yours. Kira's mind went blank. She looked at the chandelier, the marble that stretched on forever. This mansion, the symbol of everything she was told she didn't deserve, was now hers. She shook her head, feeling the cold weight of the keys in her hand. I can't. This is too much. It needs to go to the company or the foundation, not me personally. Mr. Harrison gave her a knowing, weary smile. Arthur anticipated that. He left this for you, Miss Morgan. He handed her an envelope. Inside a single sheet of cream paper, the same paper as the original note. Kindness always finds its way home, bearing Arthur Double's elegant, confident script. My dearest Kira, if you're reading this, I'm gone. And if you're trying to give the house back, then you are exactly the person I knew you were. But listen to me now, my friend. This house is not a reward for a good deed. It is a tool for your mission. When I sat on that bench, I was cold. But this house, it was colder. It was filled with greed and silence. It became a monument to everything that was wrong with my life. I want you to use this property to flip the narrative. I want you to take this physical symbol of isolation and turn it into a beacon of community. The foundation has plenty of buildings for offices. This is where the heart must be. This is where Mila should run around. This is where people who feel invisible must learn they are seen. Don't see walls and marble. See potential. Don't see an inheritance. See a mission. The house is yours, Kira. Warm it up. Make it human. Keep stopping. Yours, Arthur. Kira read the letter once, then a second time, tears blurring the neat, black ink. The sheer magnitude of the gift and the purpose attached to it was staggering. Arthur wasn't just giving her money. He was giving her the power to redefine power itself. Imagine the pressure. You're not just responsible for billions. You're responsible for turning a monument of cold, old money into a furnace of compassion. What would you do first? Sell the marble or open the doors? Kira stood taller. She didn't want the mansion, but Arthur was right. It wasn't about her wants anymore. It was about his promise. The Elise Foundation just found its home. 4 months later, the Double Estate, now officially the Elise Morgan Community House, no longer smelled of expensive wine and old money. It smelled like fresh-baked bread, budget-friendly chicken nuggets, and the faint, sweet scent of baby powder. Kira hadn't sold the marble, but she had certainly warmed it up. The dining room where Clarissa had mocked her now held long tables for community dinners, serving struggling single mothers and their kids. The gilded library was a study center. Elise's old office, with the bright window, was now Kira's CEO desk. Kira was busy, too busy to notice the ongoing barrage of lawsuits from Clarissa and Preston, who were furious that their childhood home was being used as a charity hotel. They were determined to prove Arthur was insane. But Kira was focused on the work. She was the CEO, but she was still Kira. It was 6:47 a.m. on a rainy Tuesday, almost exactly 9 months since the first encounter. Kira was pulling out of the mansion's gate, not in the black town car, but in her own reliable, newly fixed sedan. On the passenger seat sat a thermos of coffee, hot and black, and a fresh blueberry muffin. She drove down the hill, away from the warmth of her new life, back into the heart of Brookfield City. She parked down the street from the old Hollow Bean Cafe, which, after Arthur bought it, was now a non-profit community kitchen. There, on the exact same bench, was a woman, maybe in her late 20s, hood pulled tight, shoulders shaking, not from age, but from cold and exhaustion. Her face looked drawn, defeated. Kira saw herself in that woman. She saw the version of her that hadn't gotten a miracle. Kira moved fast. She stepped out, walked over, and crouched down. She pressed the cup and the muffin into the woman's hands. Here, Kira said, her voice soft. It's freezing out. This one's on the house. The woman looked up. Her eyes, brown, exhausted, but sharp, looked straight at Kira. Thank you, the woman whispered, holding the cup like it was gold. Kira smiled. Just one good deed. She didn't wait for Trevor to appear. She didn't look for a sleek, black car. She simply turned and walked back to her car, the sound of the rain washing the city clean. As Kira got into her sedan, she glanced back at the cafe window, the exact window where Trevor had stood and laughed at her. In the reflection of the glass, shimmering faintly in the gray light, she saw not just her own face, but the faint, knowing outline of an older man's face. His eyes, pale blue and clear, looked proud. Kira blinked. The reflection was gone. Just her. Just the rain. She started the car, but the feeling lingered. A quiet, comforting presence. Arthur was still watching. Kira drove away, back to the mansion, back to the mission. She had kept her promise. If you believe kindness should never die, you need to subscribe before you scroll, because silence lets the Clarissas of the world win. Sometimes the smallest act, a cup of coffee, can echo louder than $1 billion.